Two things dominated gay news headlines this week: Pride 2026 and of course Madonna. But trust me when I say there are quite a few gay news headlines that you may or may not know about. Welcome to your weekly roundup of gay entertainment news headlines. I've searched the internet to gather all of these news stories for you so you can just sit back, relax and watch them all in one video. And this video is brought to you by my channel members. Thank you very much for watching my videos and supporting my channel. It really means a lot to me that you watch my videos and support my channel. So let's head over towards Rainbow, follow the yellow brick road and see what's new and happening in the rainbow world of entertainment.
I can be whoever I want to be.
Probably the biggest news story this week is Madonna, who's doing what Madonna does best, turning an album rollout into a full-blown event. For those of you living under a rock, she debuted a short film for Confessions 2 at Tribeca on June the 5th, then released it on YouTube on June the 8th, with the album itself set for release on July the 3rd. The film previews the first 6 tracks and folds in cameos from Julia Garner, Kate Moss, Sabrina Carpenter, Lourdes Leon, and so many more. And of course it leans hard into the nightclub heat, glitter and chaos that she is known for. It also points back to her early New York club days, including Danceteria, which is exactly the kind of self-mythology only Madonna can make feel fresh instead of tired. This is definitely smart branding in my opinion, but it is also genuinely fun. She understands that fans do not just want songs, they want a world to step into, and that makes it feel like the opening scene of an extremely gay Madonna movie. Soft Cell's new and reportedly final album, Danceteria, sounds like the kind of farewell only a band with real style could pull off. It is set for release on September 25th, 2026, and it is being framed as the duo's final studio album, a tribute to the co-founder Dave Ball after his death in 2025. Mark Almond has described it as a love letter to the early 1980s New York, inspired by the period when the pair was immersed in the city's club scene and by the legendary Danceteria itself. In my opinion, this is a rare final album announcement that actually feels meaningful instead of merely ceremonial. If Soft Cell are really going out, this seems like the right way to do it, stylish and with a bass line that's still intact.
Hello?
Any idea who could be doing this?
Red Light is a sort of movie presence that sounds outrageous in the best way, and somehow it gets more interesting the more you watch. The film opens with 2 strangers waking up trapped in a locker room with no memory of how they got there. Sounds like Saw, right? But the twist is that they are both gay men, Blake and Alex, and the story quickly turns from survival game into something far more charged, as attraction starts creeping into the panic. But the movie is also a chamber thriller about power, trauma and desire. It premiered at Outshine last fall and was released on video on demand on June the 9th. This film is exactly the kind of horror setup that can either feel cheap or brilliant, and this one seems to know the difference.
What's this for?
You don't remember anything.
Cliff, if you need to borrow, you have to just...
I don't. I sold some signs.
The Canadian film Lunar Sway sounds delightfully strange, which is a compliment and definitely not a warning. The film follows Cliff, a young man in a desert town who spends his days making fluorescent signs and drifting through life until his birth mother Marge suddenly turns up and sends everything off the rails. Festival reviews described it as a darkly comic, coming-of-age story with surreal detours, moonlit desert imagery, and a tone that is eccentric without becoming smug about it.
Lunar Sway is about a lot of things, but I think it is about a man that is in a period of his life where he's asking himself a lot of questions about his love life, who he is, what he wants to do. So kind of a coming-of-age story.
Critics have responded well to its visual style and performances, even when they note that the plot can feel a little bit loose or disjointed at times. According to the information I could find online, the film is set for a fall release in 2026, but I could not find one single worldwide date. This film is a sort of offbeat Canadian film that could become a cult favorite if people give it a chance, and it's definitely slightly unhinged in a way that feels earned.
What do you think about the guy I arranged for you? What kind of trouble are you in? Some asshole is looking for you.
In El Camino is one of those films that manage to be tender and dangerous at the same time, and that is exactly why critics keep paying attention to it after the Venice Film Festival. The story follows Veneno, a drifter who sleeps with truck drivers at roadside diners, and Monico, a guarded long-haul driver who gives him a ride into the hyper-masculine world of northern Mexico's trucking routes. As they travel, their relationship deepens, while Veneno's past starts closing in like trouble on the horizon. Film critics have praised the film for balancing sensuality with menace. One review called it a compelling entry into contemporary LGBTQ+ cinema. As for the release timing, I couldn't find one single international date for everywhere, but the film has already been acquired for distribution in multiple territories, and one listing that I could find online shows June 4th, 2026 as one of the major release dates.
Life is a celebration with you on my arm. I'm too upset because you're not listening. I'm listening. Say something sensible.
Le Cage of Folles remains one of those musicals that can still cut through all the sparkle and land right on the heart. The story centers on Albin and Georges, a long married couple who run a drag nightclub in Saint-Tropez and raise their son, Jean-Michel. The trouble begins when Jean-Michel asks them to hide their family life from his fiancée's conservative parents, setting off a gloriously ridiculous chain of panic, performance, and obviously pride.
We've cast 2 out black men. And so the actor you see on stage has the lived experience of the character that they're playing.
New York City's City Center's Encore's production is scheduled for June 17th to 28, 2026. It is funny, emotional, and shamelessly big-hearted. In a year full of irony, a musical that says love and family should win by the final curtain feels almost rebellious.
Good morning, angels.
Good morning, Jerry.
Broadway Bears 2026 is going full spy thriller. This year's edition is called License to Strip, and Broadway Cares says it comes with a seductive espionage twist, 200 dancers, big production numbers, disguises, reveals, and the kind of shameless glamour that has made the event a Pride season staple. It is set for release on Sunday, June the 21st, with performances set to begin at 9:30. This is one of those few annual theatre fundraisers that understand the value of being completely over the top. It is sexy, yes, but it's also a disciplined spectacle, which is harder to pull off than people think. Broadway Bears works, and it feels like a live wire mix of camp, muscle, and definitely heart.
You don't look so good, Dante. What's someone like you doing in a place like this? You wished you still looked like them, don't you?
This entry in my video was suggested by my Patreon member Sean Burgess as a recent release that deserves more attention. Demon Twink is a title that practically walks into a room wearing a grin, and the film's premise is just as brazen. It is a 2026 25-minute short film about Dante, an older depressed gay man who is offered eternal youth through a mysterious glory hole.
Wait, what?
In order for the deal to work, he has to kill once every full moon. This is definitely a wild setup, but it's not just shock for shock value. The film clearly wants to use horror talk about loneliness, desire, ageism, and the messy bargain between pleasure and self-destruction. This is a rare short film with a title that is outrageous enough to grab attention and a premise strong enough to justify it. You can watch the short film in its entirety on YouTube. I'll put a link in the description if you want to check it out.
So what, you don't think I deserve happiness?
I gave you eternal happiness! How ungrateful.
Are these the 5 best locker room scenes in 80s and 90s movies? If you want to watch that video next, click on the link that should be popping up on your screen in a moment. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up. It really helps with the algorithm so that other people like yourself that might enjoy my content can find me more easily on YouTube. Once again, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.